successful as Animal House, and that's dangerous.
With the success of Animal House, Harold Ramis and Doug Kenny formed a production company to develop and pitch new movie projects.
I wanted to direct the next thing that I wrote, and I pitched a couple of movies to John Peters and Orion that they didn't like. One was a very dark social comedy about the American Nazi Party marching in Skokie, Illinois. And the other was a revisionist Marxist Western.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I said, thank you very much, and that was the end of that meeting.
Around that same time, Doug Kenny and Brian Doyle Murray had been kicking around
and maybe going toward Jeb Bush's camp, and the New York Times today says this decision is less about will and really more about a lack of donor support, because Romney learned that a lot of his financial backers in the last go-round have also said they're now going to throw their support to Jeb Bush. So, what was the real impetus of this decision in your view?
Well, I think the decision to run for president is really twofold. One relies on the data, which is something that a serious person like Mitt Romney examined with his team. Did he have the polling? And he realized that he did, at least for now, this early in the stage, because he has high name ID. Did he have the donors? He had a few, but Jeb Bush was conducting what his team called a shock and awe campaign for donors, especially the big whale donors, to lock them in place early in the campaign. And I think Romney decided that, while he might stand a chance here, it would be a real fight. Now, if you remember back in 2012, it was also a brawl between the Republican Party, and the bench wasn't necessarily, let's say, deep at that time. Now, you can imagine here in 2016 what
Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, and Harold Ramis.
He'd been one of the three guys who took the Harvard Lampoon and went national with it and made a lot of money really quick.
After being turned down on the Nazi idea, Ramis and Doug went back to Orion with the country club idea.
Harold's agents called me a few days later, and they had a new idea that they wanted to pitch. So, pitch Caddyshack. And I said, that sounds great.
Medavoy gave them the go-ahead, and to serve as executive producer, he brought in John Peters.
I didn't even like golf, but I like going up the golf course.
Harold Ramis, Doug Kenny, and Brian Doyle Murray locked themselves in a room and began writing.
They had a small, nondescript office. It wasn't glamorous. It was the three of them hammering it out on yellow legal pads.
There was a lot of smoke in the writer's room.
We used kind of the same approach that we'd used on Animal House. Doug and I and Brian would sit
of groundwork and a lot of human help that rely more on just a check being written. So
Country Clubs, everything that they
just Jeb's show for the next year.
Well, you and I are both using his name a lot, in this segment, but I wonder, does he have to work hard for that support, or is it kind of unsolicited? Is he really benefiting from that name recognition?
Had much more to do with the caddies.
It was going to be all about the caddies, the way Animal House.
Out from certain companies and...
Just shoot me.
The caddies probably got cut the most, and they weren't in any position to complain about it.
I was pissed. I was one of the stars that became replaced by a gopher.
Motormouth. We've got about 25 loopers, all primed and ready to be assigned their prospective loops by looper leader Lou Loomis.